I'll start streaming.
I'll wave like this.
I'll start streaming right now. No context, just full
Okay,
confusion.
here we go. So,
I
so
can't tell if your
hello,
camera is looking away from you or towards you for the
my
stream.
camera.
Yeah, it looks like it's pointing away on my end, like from your avatar,
Oh,
like it's looking backwards.
Mary's doing the streaming. I just always have
Mhm.
mine out,
Oh,
Yep.
just
gotcha.
in case
Okay.
things fail, kind of thing. But yeah, thank you for the
Mm,
reminder.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're streaming. Full confusion. So, hello, I am Hey You, waving tiny hand in the screen here, and
Hello, tiny hand.
hello. And this is Sneaky and Perfidor and Marivio. We're here to talk about confusion and actually go on a world hop to learn about it, to understand the emotion of confusion and how it also plugs into conflict. So we're starting out really late and also with lots of confusion. We've been already trying on different avatars, talking about how they make us feel closer to each other or further apart. So, whatever answers anybody has, be quiet because I have all the answers because I'm a magic 8 ball. And um, I do have some options for answers. So, what are your questions about confusion? And then I will shake the ball and give you an answer.
Mm. All right, how about this question? Why confusion?
Why confusion? That's a great question. The
Uh,
mole on that
How
one.
confusion?
I'll try answering that one.
Okay.
Mm.
Because confusion.
I like it.
Deep, deep. So maybe confusion is the doorway to enlightenment.
Mm-hmm.
That's not in my people answers. All right. Who else has a question? Why confusion? Because confusion. What do you want?
I guess the thing that immediately came to mind was well, it sounds like we might be about to cover this, but how does confusion relate to conflict?
Oh, I think I actually have an answer for that one. There you go.
Who knows? Okay, understood.
What does it say?
Who knows?
Oh, I have to really zoom in. You're so tiny now.
Am I so tiny?
Mm.
Yeah. So, how does it? How does confusion relate to conflict? If everybody understood everything all the time, all at once, would conflict be gone? Gone conflict?
That's also a good
Well,
question.
it would be interesting. I mean, I would say it would be a very unique kind of conflict. I feel like if you look at dramas or any situation where people are making weird choices in some sort of fiction, it's usually because they don't understand how another person's feeling or what the truth is to a situation, causing more shenanigans and, for the entertainment to
Mm-hmm.
unfold that someone has lost track of someone else's narrative and they're making
Mm-hmm.
choices that will end up leading to whatever hilarious scenario a writer might have in mind, or sad, or tragic. But
Mm-hmm.
in most cases, confusion is kind of like one of the starting points of a lot of conflict, I would say, for people just not understanding each other.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like
Think back to. Oh, yeah, you go ahead.
there's two ways to read that question. There's one which is whether people are able to understand, and the other is whether people are currently understanding, because there's only so much bandwidth especially when someone's mind is on something already, um, to even trying to comprehend things from another perspective.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really a good way to put it. So I like your avatar, Leaky, because that television to me embodies noise versus signal. And that, like, when we have a lot of signals, it can feel like noise. It can feel like all the black and white pixels are all randomly firing. And that makes it really hard to kind of calm ourselves and build a tree of understanding. I think of trees often in life, including around how we grow an essay, how we grow an argument, how we grow a sentence. All of those are different kinds of trees. And when there's way too many expressions happening at the same time of that tree, of that idea, of that thought, or the community around us is giving us way too many pieces, but not showing coherence, basically, right? Coherence is where that noise starts to have resonance. It starts to have a pattern we can recognize. And so how do we take that black and white fuzziness blizzard of too many data points and know that there is clarity within it, even if we feel confused? Yeah. So we've had question from Frofidor and from Leaky, which we're going to answer many different ways today, but that's just one of the pieces to maybe chew on a bit, is that confusion is too many pieces. And conflict happens when those pieces are not being woven together enough to build coherence. So the speed, the rhythms, the way they're presented, the container around them, all of those things build either confusion or coherence. And it's a gradient, right? So we can have many people can feel confused and many people can feel coherence depending on who they're talking to at the moment, etc. Like, we resonate differently with everybody. Like, have you ever heard somebody talk for a really long time and then you just feel relief when somebody else starts talking, even if what that second person is saying doesn't make as much sense? It's weaving in what the first person was saying. It's giving us a pause. It's giving us a place to land and see another perspective in the room. So, what's your question, Mary? What do you want to know about confusion?
I kind of see confusion as a state that precedes solution or resolve. And I guess what I'm curious about is the relationship between how long you spend dwelling in confusion and what kind of resolve you end up with. Whether it's one that is healthy, one that is appreciates complexity versus tries to simplify things.
Yeah. I mean, is confusion just like a check engine signal that tells us to get off the freeway and reevaluate? Or is it something that is like telling us we're midway on our journey? We've reached the spot of not quite sure where we're going. and it's a really important spot to reach. It's its own destination that you can't get to if you're trying to get there. That's the hardest thing about confusion. If you really like want to be confused, then you're not really confused.
Okay, that puts my head in a
You
spin.
confused? Exactly.
Is that true?
Hmm.
If I want to be confused, then I'm not confused. Oh.
Hmm.
But if I want to be
And it,
confused, I could then decide to put myself into a situation that confuses me.
yeah, I guess what I mean is from the pure essence of it, confusion is usually started from something outside of us.
Yeah.
And if we're
Hmm.
seeking confusion, which I don't know if I've ever had anybody be like, oh, I need some confusion right now. But if we're seeking
Oh, no,
confusion,
that was
then
an easy way.
there's a directionality to that. There's an intention to it.
Maybe
Hmm.
not in those words, but I feel like anyone who wants a good puzzle is basically seeking confusion.
Hmm. Or if they want to learn about quantum physics on Wikipedia, it's a good place to get confused.
I feel like they at that point they're already confused and they're trying to fix their confusion because they're like quantum mechanics, what? And they're trying to like uh, untangle the threads rather than tangle them.
Well, and were you still in confusion by saying quantum mechanics what? Question mark.
Mm.
Right? So the thing I'm getting at here, just in case you're confused, is bringing curiosity to confusion is a way to minimize the effect of it.
Okay, that gives me another question.
Okay, go for it.
Can
Let me
there
see if I have that
be
one in here.
can there be curiosity without confusion?
What does it say?
Hell no. Well, okay, that answers that then.
I believe you. Yeah. That is interesting because if you already knew it was going to happen,
You're not
it's not really
confused.
being curious.
You're not curious. Yeah.
Hmm.
So confusion is like the missing link, right? So like we've had the idea in evolution that there was some creature between animals and humans that are the missing bridge to who we became. And there's always going to be a spot that doesn't feel as strong as the other spots, that doesn't quite follow, that has darkness to it. And that is where the mystery is. And that's where dark matter exists. And that's where all the things that don't easily fit belong. And if we've been, I mean, let's do a little moment to get out of our heads. Like, let's do a little ick vomit fest here of like, what have I been taught about confusion? What have I been told confusion means? And like, what are all these internalized messages we've all had in a system that rewards clarity? So I was taught that confusion meant I was stupid. What else were we taught? These are all the barriers to confusion that in order to make friends with it, we have to understand how we emotionally bonded to that.
That's definitely the first thing that came to my mind too. It was like, I definitely feel like I was raised thinking like being confused especially on specific topics, was just more of a negative, and like you were slow or in like some capacity for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And slow is what?
Just like failing to understand something at a pace that's expected, I guess, of somebody.
Yeah.
It's like some outside expectation thing. Yeah.
So slow is bad. Slow is not enough.
Yeah.
Slow is you will be left behind. What primal parts is that bringing out of us? You're going to be left behind if you're confused. Oof, that's about as core lizard brain as you can get. I'm a social creature. If I'm slow, it's bad. At least in more Western societies, slow is bad.
It reminds me of the fact that in like a university or college setting, if a teacher asks a question to the students, very few students raise their hands.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. That we've been punished so constantly for quote wrong answers, for not having answers, that now the bystander effect kicks in, and if everybody doesn't raise their hand, then nobody can be singled out. And so then what we'll see as a group creature phenomena is the teacher's pet emerges, and they have all the answers, and then the class clown will emerge as a counter to that. And then you've got everybody else in between who are not in learning mode, they're in survival mode, because they know who actually knows the answers, who the questions have been formed for, and then they also know who's going to release the tension that's building when not everybody feels safe or included to actually have wrong answers and have those wrong answers woven into whatever the bigger answer is.
There was this story my mum told me about. I can't remember how old she was, but there was this one moment when she raised her hand in class and asked a question which seemed like a stupid question, and then after class another student went up to her and thanked her for asking the question. She was too scared to ask it herself, and kind of there was a gratefulness there for the confusion that was expressed.
Yeah, that's exactly it. So that was a big transition point for me in being in my own class settings, was realizing that the person asking the not thought out question could be archetypally manifesting something that orients 8 other people in the room who have already gotten lost before they even came up with a question. And so the not high quality question is actually bridging a whole chunk of people that would have been way more lost if a really high quality deep question had been asked. So when I've had kind of quote stupid questions come to mind, I will sometimes ask them, and I'll pay attention to how many people all of a sudden kind of snap up and look, right? Because that body language tells me how much the person holding the container, including me, has already left half the people behind. And this is trying to weave them back in. So humor is a way to kind of release the tension and get everybody to re-resonate with each other. And confusion is a way to kind of ground the tension. It slows everybody down. It's just, have we built a culture that tolerates confusion as a vital learning state to come to a new answer that is not the original answer that whoever is leading the direction was bringing? If the answer stays the same from what they're bringing to after the confusion threshold, then confusion hasn't worked. Confusion is there to stir things up, get people lost, get the conflict going. It's that feeling it's all not going to work and it's all going to fall apart.
It's interesting to think about confusion as a necessary part of learning rather than a byproduct of it.
Bad learning. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, and if you've ever looked at learning design or kind of analyzed why did I learn in this area and why didn't I learn in this other area, like sometimes the most perfectly put together material is ultimately confusing for me. It's too simple. It will get everybody there, but very much like the story of the fighter pilot chair in like jet fighters. They created the perfectly average chair for jet fighters in the U.S. military, and so it was supposed to be customized to the average build of the fighters, and like so then it could be adjusted. So it was trying to find that middle ground, and it fit nobody. And so this multi-million-dollar effort like actually was uncomfortable for everybody, even though they had statistically made it the most average perfect chair. But sometimes when we make the thing that is the clearest, it actually creates the most confusion. There's nothing to hook on to.
That's an interesting point.
To use like a physics analogy, it's like when a surface is so smooth, there's no friction.
Exactly.
You can't stop on it. You just keep sliding off.
There's no traction. That's right. Learning requires us to also impact our environment, not just to absorb. And when everything's clear, this is partly why I'm in VR, because the model felt really clear to a lot of people in physical reality, but they felt like it was so clear they couldn't touch it. And so coming into VR was a way to let it get messy and let it be confusing and let it fall apart and see what group creatures built with it that were less inhibited. Yeah. So the piece that I'm looking for in group situations is making sure the confusion is moving like a current. It's like a sludge in a river. And if the current is always moving it, then we have blood flow. If it gets stuck on one person, they're just going to leave. Confusion is like you think of a heart thing, beep, beep, beep. Confusion is like, beep. Right? We don't want that lost signal to be stuck on any one person for very long. Otherwise, they just eject. Yeah, they just fall over dead. Exactly.
I'm so confused I died.
That's right. Death by confusion.
The worst confusion.
This is the haunting ghost. Wow, Mary.
He's thinking. He's still thinking. He doesn't have any idea.
Even without the body. That's right. Yeah, death by confusion. So, just for the fun of it, before we go on our world hop, because confusion can be in a physiological way, it's kind of an inward collapse. I don't know. I don't understand. And in the purest sense of that emotion, there's kind of a hopelessness to it of like, I don't know and I'm not going to know. I'm not getting this. So 0 to 10, 10 being the clearest you've ever been, like you're at an Einstein level, the whole world makes sense. You're just waiting for everybody else to catch up with you. And then 0 being like amoeba level, just like I don't understand how anything's connected. It's just me. What would you say your confusion level is today?
Oof.
Ask myself.
About 50-50.
So you're at a 5.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, out of 10. Yeah.
I think I might be at like a 3 or a 4 today.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
3, 5.
coming here has actually increased the number, but prior to this, I've had a lot on my mind today, so I'm going to say 2.
A 2. Wow. Yeah, that was my number also. I'm at a 2. So I guess Profiter is teaching the rest of us.
All right,
we're all very
everyone circle around
confused today.
Profiter
All
now.
right, Pro. Tell us what confusion is.
I mean, to me, I just feel like I'm always accepting that I'm in a state of unknowing. I guess the way I'm looking at confusion as a state of unknowing is sort of taking a step back and recognizing all the things that I don't know about and realizing like I'll never have time to learn all these things. I don't know how to know any of this stuff. It's like I would say there's always a constant part of me that is aware of the things around me that I don't know about. So I kind of just keep it in the back of my mind like, oh, that's something I'm curious about. But it's just going to get thrown under the giant dump truck of things I don't know about that I might have to dig out just to like figure something out later if it's necessary. But most of the time I just see everything that I have questions about and then I just kind of move on pretty quickly. Kind of consistent. And it doesn't really bother me. I think I know enough about the situations that I'm currently in to get by perfectly fine. But if I wasn't always constantly interested in finding answers to things, that would be a lie. I'm always kind of in that mode. It's
so
just
part
sort of
of how
like
you're
default.
mitigating confusion is by always running a current of curiosity. And then also narrowing your container so that you can't see as many things you don't know.
Yeah, I feel like the average VRChat situation usually isn't stimulating enough for me because no one is asking enough questions or is curious about things happening around them.
Oh, you're all bent out of shape on that.
That's where all these
yeah,
squiggles came from.
It's all the kinks. Yes, it's where Furfidor melted because people weren't asking enough questions.
And you're trying to make people confused because they look at you and go, "What? What is this?"
There you go. Yeah.
I'm bending myself in every direction so I can meet other people where they're at, and you can see what that's turned into.
You're like a spaghetti metal man. The noodle guy. Yeah.
I called the avatar metal ribbons because I didn't know what else to call it. That's just what it looks like.
Bendy.
Yeah, so flowy and
so stuff. Conflict. Let's go to the other room and like look at confusion in relationship, and then we can move on to our world top. And again, for also if y'all stand out there, it's gonna just feel very lonely. So come on in here.
I just like jumping on things.
That's right. So we're gonna move past this part and just build the confusion part.
Too bad these things point at your feet. I know it's like the avatar origin, but they should point at camera. I don't know how you do that, but yeah.
Yeah. So we've done frustration, which was February. We've done irritation, which is March. And this loop is so uncomfortable to go back and forth that then this next loop starts, right? Which is something's wrong. This is not working for me. Something's wrong. And then confusion comes in to be like, I don't get it. And all of these are like different, they say jump from the frying pan to the pot or whatever. Like each of these is uncomfortable in a different way. And they're churning. What's it like to look at them all in relationship to each other?
It's interesting.
I like thinking about what kind of grunts and noises you'd make in each of these positions. Like no words, just noises.
Yeah. So my noises are and then right? And then
Wait.
And then
Wait, do the concern one again? Huh. That's not what I had in mind.
Concerning.
And then
Yeah, I think I'd put a more inflection on the concern side where there's sort of a bit of judgment, like, like, did that just happen?
Yeah, so you got a little tone variation in that.
Or even...
Yeah. Okay, there's a little more judgment going on. Okay.
Don't do that.
There you go. So now you're putting a boundary.
It's like a parent being concerned for a child who's about to stick a fork in some outlet or something.
See, I
no.
Closer to... I feel like that's closer to worry for me. It's like, I think concern is a subtler thing. It's like the whole Victor axis has an evolution from concern to worry to judgment, and I just knowing that ahead of time, like the emotion by itself, I think makes more sense in relationship and context to the other emotions around it for this model. Like there's definitely a lot of things that I feel like concern and worry get mixed up a lot. So for me, I feel like there's definitely a good distinguishing difference. These inner rings, these inner toruses, they're much more subtler than how they expand out to at the edges of the axes.
Axes. Yeah. Iki, your turn.
I definitely feel like I think I probably feel the most confused today because it's like very tricky to put into words for me. Like I remember sort of like analyzing how these all relate to each other before. But yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it feels very difficult to even like put a finger on what the hang up in my brain is today.
So in a way, you're judging yourself for being confused about confusion.
Yeah, to be honest, it's yeah, I don't know.
You're there. Well done.
Yeah, good
You're
job.
embracing the emotion.
You're winning. You're winning.
That's it. Would you like to change your number? The lower, the more the winner.
Leaky is beating us all right now.
Well, and if you can just guess, this is something to pay attention to. This is a lens that I'm always carrying in group dynamics. How much time have each of us been speaking today? And so part of how I get to shift confusion as the container holder is to speak less. And then does everybody take care of each other, or do people rush to say their part? Or is there a way that kind of we have three people here? How are you becoming a group creature? How are you taking care of each other? How are you bringing each other in the conversation? That's what I'm looking for. So when we go look at some worlds, we can make that confusion even more intense. The more we try to find it, the harder it is to see. And so it's important, especially as we're going into even more intense emotions going forward, like to picture you have a dial inside that turns the fog up or turns the storm up or turns the spaciness up, and you can turn that dial up and you can turn it down. And that dial slows one down, and it can also freeze us, like make all the warmth drain out of our body. So what's one environmental or metaphorical cue that you can play with as we go through these worlds to keep working with your own nervous system? Because too much confusion can go way beyond that. It can go into guilt of I'm doing this wrong. And it can even go into shame of I just suck at this. I'm bad at this. I don't get it. And it's my fault. So how do we bring ourselves through confusion and clear the air sometimes? What is the thing I need to do to change that pressure so that it doesn't disconnect me from the learning entirely?
Might be a win-win to get everyone to present their worlds and try to explain why it's a good world for confusion, and then everyone else just looks at them silently.
So as I teach, I just grow confusion as the result, and we all get to sit with the tolerance of that. Before we also go, let's check our bodies. If confusion lived in one place in our bodies, where would it live? You pointed right there.
Yeah, it's just in my head entirely, I think. Yeah.
Right at the... Come on.
I was just going to say, I think in a way it could be the whole body, just because I think I do associate confusion with like entirely freezing up in a sense, even though it's mental. I think the way I would maybe picture it manifesting in some worlds and even just in real life is like a stillness entirely. So yeah.
So it's like the whole body is the popsicle stick, and then the head is popsicle.
Yeah.
Thank you. How do you melt that popsicle? No more brain
in a
freeze.
Microwave?
One lick at a time.
Oh, right. That works.
Yeah.
Taking a breather. Taking a moment to just
right.
Take it in.
Yeah.
I guess
a lot of times.
Yourself,
I like that
it's a
one.
shameful thing.
How do you forgive yourself when you're confused? What does that look like?
I think it's acknowledging, where you exist in the universe in a way. It's like where you've been, what you've experienced, and this moment arriving at you with a sense of expectation that you recognize is like, oh, I don't have all the puzzle pieces. They didn't exist before this. I couldn't have possibly had them. So now it makes sense why I don't know what's going on.
I like that you're recognizing that forgiveness becomes a byproduct when we understand better. Right?
Yeah.
You try to run to forgiveness and go, okay, I forgive you. We're all better now, right? But if I don't actually understand what the pain was, what the rupture was, then that lack of forgiveness is a way to kind of freeze that spot, to put a splint on it, to say, this will break again. We didn't get it yet.
Yeah. Sometimes I feel like it helps to name things that are causing that disruption. Like I might be anxious at any given moment, and I'm like, wait, why am I anxious? And I go back through my thoughts I had recently and go, right, it's because I, have this thing coming up, or I read this thing that's going to happen. And then I name it and I label it, and then everything calms down pretty much after that.
Yeah, I go back to the idea of dark matter and how much space it takes. And it's really just the thing that we don't know what it is. Mary?
I'm thinking of programming tends to be what I end up confused about, and how I can end up in this sort of loop where I go from confusion and then frustration, and then to bring myself back to confusion, I take a breath and I sigh, and maybe I tilt my head and stare for a while and try and get a different perspective from what I'm seeing.
That's a good keyword. New perspectives. So this is partly like why I ask this question over and over again for people when we go to worlds. How does this world make community, and how does it break community? If I feel like the world makes community for me and I'm just in my flow and it's wonderful, I might not be paying attention to the people who are feeling confused or feeling lost in that space. And so I'm on my cloud nine, and it's harmfully affecting people in the space also. So knowing that every space might be making or growing a part of me, and it also might be breaking and confusing a part of me. That's true for every digital environment. As long as we have incongruence with our body language, where I'm moving here, but my body's physically actually not moving, that creates a constant state of confusion in my body. It has to bypass everything it's been programmed to do to stay congruent. And so we all feel confused in these digital spaces, and we're holding that tension in our bodies on some level, even if you're not in headset. And then the other direction is the coherence, is the realizing that just because we're being held a certain way that doesn't feel comfortable doesn't mean we're not growing another way. So talking about confusion so much, I notice a headache growing in my temples. I notice it feels like I've been scrunching my eyes up so tightly together that my third eye is just like squished, sort of thing. This part is high pressure and this part is very low pressure. I will invite a practice today that you may or may have not heard me talk about. This is, if you can, try to banish the word think from your vocabulary. And also try practicing I statements instead of you statements.
So you want us to not use the word think?
A+ on the first part, F on the second part. Exactly. Yeah. So I believe words are equations. right? And when we have a habit of saying I think, it makes us invulnerable, basically. It makes us an equation. Dare to be vulnerable. Dare to say I feel, or it's like this, and then be called out for that's not quite it, or there's more there. Dare to observe without qualifying where it comes from in your body and see what that feels like. That's your challenge. We're getting on our yellow school bus before we go on our worlds. The first world I'd love for us to go to is Mary. Could you drop your home world for us?
Oh, I see. Okay.
I forgot the name of it.
How do I even get to... Oh, okay. It is in my favorites. I wasn't sure if I... Group plus or...
Just do friends plus. I'm not going to have anyone else.
Okay. Alright. I'm gonna put it right in confusion.
Yay. Good placement. All right. Let's go to the void.
Ooh.
Whoa.
So, notice the wow, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel right now, Leaky?
I felt like immediately peaceful, to be honest with you.
Ah, notice. Peaceful in the void.
Yeah,
This
it's just
was a
like
world-
no stimuli. Yeah.
This was a world that was brought to bridge makers around the word terror, the emotion of terror.
Oh. Hmm.
That is interesting. I don't think this was here before.
No, I don't remember this being
I was
here.
going to.
Oh, it's a mirror. Okay.
What it? Oh yeah.
Oh, that's it.
Even
Just a
in the
mirror.
void, we
Wow, I
can
look
stare at
terrified.
ourselves.
Wow.
The sunglasses are on.
I get the impression that everyone in VR chat doesn't know how to do circles. They just know how to do sitting in a lot of rows. They just know rows, and so they need a mirror in order to look at each other.
And it tells us how disconnected we all feel from ourselves, right? It tells us how lost I am, that the dance between you and me does not feed me enough to believe I'm here. So I have to be patterned to looking at myself and seeing the exact mirroring to keep myself valid. Because you maybe have not learned how to mirror my dance and my nonverbals, and vice versa. And so I don't feel that sense of like presence. So this gives me the sense of presence.
Yeah, I feel like, well, I didn't know my TV lit up when I spoke. Anyway,
Oh yeah.
I'm turning this off. It's going to distract me.
That's why I'm going to turn mine off too.
Yep.
We're back with each other. What a difference that feels like. I turn the mirror off.
Yeah, it definitely, like, sitting in front of mirrors and talking to people feels so much different from, like, because I'm not like looking at them, their avatar. So yeah, I don't know. It's like it's definitely it sets a different tone, I guess, for the interaction.
Now I have half of Mary present.
Yeah, there's like a wall here still. It threw me off. I can't see
See.
anyone when I walk through.
Wow.
The character looks a little evil with just like the one eye showing.
You're lurking now, right? This is lurker. And lurking bow. Wow. But it is very sinister, right? To see half the person there, right? And so
Mhm.
that gives us a clue of the, and it's funny because I notice I have a little more preference talking to you, partly because I'm able to watch your hands and my physical hands relate to your physical hands. Whereas you've got the cartoon kind of 3-digit hands, right? So
And me.
I'm watching. Yes, your hands are always static. Right?
This is the one.
Except when you're dancing. and so there's this human element to being able to watch your hands talk that I didn't realize I had a bias towards you for the last hour until this moment, with the void around us, with both of you being gray and black and white. It's actually like helping me differentiate better why I have preference to talking towards you.
Mhm.
That's interesting.
The way the lighting like hits your avatar is definitely like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels like I'm expecting a like museum display type thing, and then like a sculpture or
From
something
behind me. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like coming this way from behind. Yeah, I guess they needed some light. If I turn around, I'm not as bad to look at from the other side.
Let's see. Come over here. Oh yeah, that feels so different.
It's interesting.
Oh yeah, wow, it does.
Yeah. The nature of this world. I guess I'm realizing that I have a very strong defense mechanism to avoid being confused as I go, okay, it's a black void. I know how they made this. They just set all the colors to black. The world's only got 1.5 megabytes, so there's clearly nothing else to discover, to jump scare you, or anything else that could be here. There's a nice like a faint, voidy sound effect, give you that sense that there's nothing here, which is a nice touch. Sound is very important for this. And I also immediately clocked the circle, and I'm like, okay, well, there's something here. But I was going to wait for everyone to get in place before I'd be like, well, let's analyze the only thing that exists. It's a circle, and it just makes a mirror.
It
was almost disappointing.
It's like, and just stands there. Like,
are we going to touch that thing? Because it's the only thing here.
Yeah, it's the only interactable. Let's go. Yeah.
I wonder if it would have been better if we just didn't touch it and just remained confused about what it was.
And imagine what the gray dot represented, right? So see what we bypassed by coming here and immediately interacting with it versus just letting it be an object in the space that we could put all kinds of a story on when we were looking at it. That's important. How quick we're not allowed to be confused. And what would it be like to rewire ourselves so that when we see confusion, we're like, yes, confusion, yay. Here it is. It's arrived.
Yeah, it's like I'm realizing things about myself, just what we've talked about today, and it's kind of like, oh shit.
Yeah.
I bypass this emotion all the time.
All the time. Yeah. And here's the part where it gets tender and it gets really consequential. So I had a tough childhood in some respects. My parents are like, any parent is going to be like, look, I have proof. You were happy in pictures. You were a happy child. But also,
Awesome.
there were a lot of confusing parts to my childhood. And a lot of it had to do with being extremely low oxygen. Like, I was very, very ill growing up. So I didn't learn a lot of the life lessons through my body that most people do. I was very awkward and clumsy and just kind of disassociated. So one of the first jobs that I did as a young adult was I became a nanny. I even became a live-in nanny, and I raised these children from infancy up into their early toddlerhood, multiple families. And it was so important for me to do that and watch early development. I didn't do it on purpose, but I knew that I was doing it instinctually. I had to kind of re-raise myself and learn my body from that age level that I had no memory of. And watching how parents who have the bills and the structure and the deadlines and whatever would try to shortcut their children's learning. When the child is learning how to walk and they're falling repeatedly, the parent would move the furniture just a few inches so the child could grab it or something. And so it's that hunger to try to make that link in their kids' heads, which is a natural desire as a mentor. And yet what could happen then is if there was the bubble wrapping kind of phenomena for parents with children, as soon as the parent would leave, the child would be constantly very upset with me because I wasn't as sensitively accommodating their environment with them as their parent might be. They just had that intuition and that instinct to keep bridging it. And then when they didn't have a biologically programmed parent who, spent all hours of the day with them, that container shifted, and then they would feel like they were flailing and just very frustrated and whatever. But then I would return them to their parents and they would have a much higher tolerance for distress. Right? They were learning how to move through their confusion and get their body out of it on their own instead of being picked up and soothed or whatever else. And so how do we reparent those young parts of us that say, this is wrong, this is bad, I'm not allowed to feel nothing. I'm not allowed to feel empty. What are the statements that could replace that?
Maybe acknowledging that it's temporary. There's normally something on the other side of confusion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's temporary. And confusion can feel endless. That whole axis, time gets very distorted. The other direction if you go upwards. So for heroes, for victors, they feel like time flies. Time is so quick because they're coordinating all the things and they're fixing things and whatever. And the bystander end, that frozen end, time slows down. Time becomes endless. I was playing a game the other night, Kalia. I've been playing their new update, and this person was having a lot of confusion on navigating their horse because now we have horses. And
didn't have horses. What?
I know, it's really quite blissful. My inner kid is just like, oh my god. So they're navigating to me, and I've gotten very good. I have a whole horse farm. I'm breeding horses. It's a whole thing. But I've gotten pretty good at navigating with my horse, so I forget and I leave people in the dust all the time. I'll be like, okay, let's go. And then I pew off, and then they're stuck back there. So it was probably 3 minutes for this person to get from one side of the map to the other. But they told me I was like, hey, there you are. And they're like, it took me 40 years to get here. And it was so striking to me that I could feel how heavy that was for them, even though they said, I need to spend some good. I need to spend some bonding time with my horse because I'm having trouble controlling it. So they knew that it was healthy for them to learn. And I said, no worries, take your time and whatever. But they still felt a massive time distortion from 3 minutes to 40 years, right? And so even though it was a joke, it tells me that place feels so heavy and so scary. And telling somebody, don't worry, it'll get better later, doesn't always work.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Mm.
For me, I'll tell you, and I'm practicing this now this month more than ever before. I just say something by first touching my body. So when we say statements like a code and we don't put it into our body physically, it will often remain a little more cerebral unless you've done this loop a lot. So I'll often put my hand on my heart or my sternum and I'll say, my confusion belongs here. My confusion belongs here.
Interesting.
Say more.
I guess I'm recognizing that I'm not as in tune with my body to feel like there's a part somewhere that would be like where the emotion lives.
Yeah.
And that's new. That's kind of new for me. Although I recognize that it is real. Yeah.
It's so real. And for me, when I started to learn how to loop my emotions back into my body, like sometimes if I don't know where an emotion lives in my body, I'm like, I'm pointing at my knee here, but I guess I'm putting it my avatar. I'm like, okay, my confusion lives in this knee. And then I just start to track. When I think I might be confused, I start to feel if there's anything lighting up in the knee. And I've decided where it's going to live. And sometimes what that'll do is it'll contrast and I'll actually start to notice that my shoulders start to scrunch up when I'm confused. So the muscles behind. And so my body will ping me back basically and be like, no, you keep focusing there. It's actually up here. And now I know where it lives. But first I give it a location to live, even if it's silly. And then the next piece is whenever I'm looking for that, I'm seeing if it lives there or where else it might go.
My pinky toe.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the tip of my nose. A particular knuckle. Wherever. But just giving... Yeah.
I was going to say my chin, because I feel like I do this when I'm thinking a lot.
Exactly, right? There it is. Yeah. Yeah.
One specific hair of my beard.
That's right. Like,
This one.
oh no. This hair is very confused.
Just clip that off. Okay, there it goes. It's gone.
And a slight tangent, but a link to that would be the story of the man who slept for 100 years with a very long beard. All the different stories with very long bearded men often depict wisdom, often depict knowledge. And so in physical reality, what we have deemed to be proper or the modern man or whatever requires removing the covering of your own face. And often doing that on a daily basis. And what is that telling you about your own body and what is allowed, what is welcome?
No time for wisdom.
And yeah. and that beards are seen as dirty, as threatening, as religious even.
Issues.
Yeah. But that we take those away and we don't really understand how much we're telling ourselves there's already parts of me that don't belong.
Yeah, I feel like dress codes and standards were a bit harsher a while back. I think they're easing up more these days. Like, no one complains I wear like a sweatshirt and jeans at my office with full beard and everything. There's no complaints. It's totally normal now. Tattoos are also becoming normal. But I digress. The point is, yeah, there is some standards for, like you're saying, the idea of wisdom from a man with a large beard is just not something we see in modern situations because it's not desired to look like that. They want
Exactly.
clean
Yeah.
shaven. They want like a rugged jawline. It's like there's
Yeah.
just trends, and that's what people like to see. So they take out what they throw out the baby with the bathwater. It's like we don't want beards anymore.
Yeah. And so in your workplace environment, that still is lax, but our literal government in the US had this big shame festival with US military leaders a few months ago and condemned them for being out of shape and having beards on national TV.
Geez. I didn't see that. Crazy.
Yeah. Crazy. So the system is trying to correct for that. Fit the image of what the right man is supposed to look like. And if you don't, you're out. Quite literally, that was the threat. So these are these implicit words inside our void here that we don't see, but are whispering into our bodies constantly. And my impatience towards somebody often is a sign for me that there's like a trauma bump somewhere inside of me. My need for you to go faster is a place where I was pushed further than I could keep up.
I definitely feel that, actually. I feel like anytime I felt anxious about the speed that somebody else is going, it's from being like, even quite literally just, if I'm grocery shopping or something, and just whoever I'm with, whether it was my family or parents or whatever, just wanting to like get it done and get out of the way as fast as possible instead of like taking your time. Even real world scenarios like that. So it's very true.
So much for redeeming the consumeristic way we take our food in is made for ease and speed and whatever. Versus going to a farm market, I have to talk to the farmer and I have to taste their food as they taste it with me and show that I like their food. Like, there's so many more steps about interacting and understanding what I'm buying when it is a more dispersed, less commercialized way. But all the environmental cues in a supermarket, right, is buy quick and get out. And so group creatures that are not aware of that environmental conditioning will tear each other apart in these kinds of environments because they're formed in private away from those environments, and they don't have the exposure to say, this is going to make us mean to each other. So how do we hold the bubble around ourselves and stay with our connection and our rhythm? Yeah. My heart and my chest kind of got fuller and warmer when you were telling that story. All the being scolded in the aisle moments when I'm reaching for something as a kid that is made for me to reach towards it, like cereal boxes or whatever. It's made for my eyes to be excited and want to reach, and yet the slapping of the hand, the no, you didn't ask for permission, put that back. I'm doing what I've been primed to do, and yet my parent is feeling like they have to be the whole village for all their children, and let's just go. There's a conflict there. Yeah. So in your scenario of the store, what do you want to go back and tell that kiddo in you that was shut down over and over to let them know you've learned something else? And you don't have to say that out loud, but really, this is a moment where you can actually retrieve and connect back into that part of you if you choose to. What does
Yeah.
that kid need to hear from you?
I definitely already comes to mind. Well, the words don't come to mind, but just how I would handle it. It's like no slap on the wrist, basically, and just and it's okay, and you know, moving on, sort of thing. Yeah.
I would love to go to a store with you, Leaky.
That sounds great. Please don't yell at me if I drop something.
Oh,
I feel
yeah.
Yeah.
Me too.
So, what we should do is go to the store and ask you, so which item would you like to drop? Go.
We all drop it with you.
Yeah.
Actually,
Pick one and we'll...
back to the nanny story. One of the most revolutionary moments of probably my entire life was realizing the parents were gone, and so that whole "don't cry over spilled milk" piece. When the parents are gone and the milk spilled, and I was like, "Wait, the parents are gone. Like, we don't have to be upset about this." And so I taught these kids something very counterculture. You know, they're supposed to feel guilt or shame or whatever. And we all learned how to do this. So it became this huge celebration moment. It's like hands up in the air and it'd be like, whoopsie. And everybody would just keep saying that until we would kind of laugh it off. And then we would move to the next moment. Like, oopsie, oopsie. And then the parents would come around and the kids would mess up and they'd be like, oopsie, and they'd all laugh at each other. And these parents are like, oh, my child is not behaving correctly. But also watching their children be so confident in that excitement of we know what to do when we drop something. We say, oopsie, and we look at each other with kind of the twinkle in our eye. Are we all going to celebrate? It would pull the parents into it. And they would eventually start doing it. It was really, really healing for me to take that shame spot and turn it into the game just changed. Are we all going to look each other in the eyes and do this little oopsie dance?
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's higher consequence in a store where there's a sense of I have to pay for that now, right? And at the same time, there can be a kindness that's still offered there that often isn't because there's just fear of being judged for the parents. So, yeah. Mirroring feels good with parents and children until it turns into terror, and then it's like an electrical shock.
That kind of takes me back to this. I'm reminded of an experience I had when I was working at a camp counselor, as a camp counselor at this camp for teaching kids like Minecraft and playing games and stuff. And there was this one girl I remember started crying at this one point, and I wanted to comfort her and try to tell her like her emotions are okay. And I was trying to figure out like what was going on, and it was sort of like there's some situation escalated. There was some sort of punishment, something that I don't really remember, but I remember asking her like, "Are you feeling sad because of this and this?" And she was shaking my head, and I was like, "Are you sad because you feel like you don't like yourself, or you feel like you're not doing well?" And then she did nod her head. And I was like, I wanted to help her, but another camp counselor was like coming over like, "Crying's not acceptable. We have to shut this down. This isn't allowed."
Yeah.
And like, I think every now and then I go back in my head and I think, wish I could go back and redo that. I would have taught her so many better life lessons. And I think eventually she got back to being normal, but it was like, man, it was just like there was no tolerance for, you know, these negative emotions.
Yeah.
And I don't know what lesson she got out of that.
Yeah. Just that you were disrupting that paradigm of we don't have room to be sad here before the boss came. That's a bookmark for her. Even if you didn't get to keep holding the bubble around her, the bookmark was the chapter changed back to the original programming, but there was another chapter there that was about to be written. What was that chapter? You might find she becomes a therapist someday. Like those are those moments that actually turn people into, I need to understand this other course that was not filled in. Thank you for trying to make space for that. Notice language when we call them negative emotions, how that sets us up to put them in a hierarchy and put them into bad versus good, right versus wrong.
Yeah, and that specific situation labeled them that way. So
of course, yeah. The paradigm will absolutely, don't be so negative, don't be a Debbie Downer, all of that. Okay. Well, different kind of confusion. Some of you maybe, I think Fro's seen this, but Mary, have you? I don't know. Did we lose Mary?
I might have seen this.
Forget to remember. Let's get confused.
Sure, no. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. Yes, this world, yes.
Hold on before you run forward, because it's a confusing world. Before we run forward, what is it like to be in this environment? Especially contrasted to the last one. What do you notice?
It looks like lightning strikes are frozen between the large metal, what do you call those? Frames?
I instantly felt more alert just because there's a lot more going on now.
Oh yeah. The contrast of the void in this bright, colorful environment is a bit of a wake-up call, yeah. There's an interesting statue over there.
Yeah, the lightning part kind of makes me want to brace.
Yeah.
I feel like it kind of feels like some like plane or place in between worlds to me.
Yeah.
Anytime like the fog and everything. Yeah. It doesn't feel like we're at a place, you know? Kind of similar to the void, just a lot more going on for me.
Seems to me like it's a moment in time with some kind of context that is meant to be captured and noticed. Like something important is about to happen.
Yeah. Now, I'm going to show you the most confusing spot in the world for me before we go to the next part. If we can get to it. So, there's a little triangle right there. From far away,
I see it.
It's looked like an orb or something. There's one here too. They're just kind of like floating, but in the order of the whole space, that felt confusing. Like, I could handle all the other parts, but these parts started to make me really anxious.
Oh, there's more. They're over here too.
Yeah. and then noticing for some reason the lightning strikes and cracks in reality. That's fine to me. But these little objects, it's like, oh, let's get out of here. Something's
It's a
happening.
D8. I think
Exactly.
in D&D terms, the 8-sided dice is
Oh,
called
yeah.
D8s. But yeah,
Eat
they're
polygon
little
inches.
diamond shapes. I think this is like the shape you can make in Blender if you set the sphere to the lowest possible like size.
Oh, that's interesting.
And, yeah, but it's an
Yeah.
interesting choice of detail. I guess, yeah, like they're trying to add more than just flowers and vines here. Like they want there to be something else that lives amongst this abstract nature section. And they've got lightning strikes. And then they're like, well, what
So-
else can we put here?
All of it's great, Fro. And notice you need to narrate, right? But that's kicking in to make it understandable. So thank you. Okay, let's move into our forgetting. We're going.
Oh, yes. You should teleport. Mm-hmm. Can you go up these? Oh, you can't.
So if we look at, we were just in a garden that was falling apart, right? There's cracks in reality. Something's happening. It's suspended. Now we're in a library.
Oh, look at the book.
And if we move closer, we're going to see a book appear.
Mm-hmm. And it should open up for another room.
No!
Wow.
I want to see this one first. Let me get my camera
I
out.
know, right? So
There's
so
no way to
look
get
at what
around.
just happened though, right? We were in a void that only had a mirror. Now we were in a garden that shattered. And when we tried to go towards knowledge and understand the space, a book just jumped out in front of us and said, look.
Mm.
And it's a mirror, but we can't see ourselves.
Yeah. That is, yeah, this is a very confusing place. And even the,
Mhm.
Oh crap. Ah! I went too far.
Yeah, when we walk through the book portal, it seems like we are in separate rooms, so I don't think we can communicate after we go through.
Oh, really?
I went on ahead to the painting, but I was gonna either wait there, but I tried respawning, but it seems like you did too. Yeah, very confusing world. But I'd say we could probably keep going forward.
Okay.
But if other people respawn, it might catch up. I don't know. I'll wait at the next area.
Alright.
this painting is like another
Oh,
teleport, maybe?
There you all are.
Oh.
Here we
I
are.
entered
We got
the
lost.
space and no one was in here.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You weren't
I
here?
walked through and
I
no,
was
no
in
one
here
was here. I
alone.
was like waiting. Yeah.
Whoa.
Whoa. That is very
I
confusing. I didn't
respawned,
realize that
and-
happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
Took
separate
you into an
versions of the same
alternate
place.
multiverse. Yeah.
Mm,
So now we've
Went to
gone
the
from a
next
library
area,
to
but-
a ballroom, right?
yeah.
And now we're going to go from this ultimate prestige to this art piece.
That is a pretty cool effect, the way that works.
Very loud.
Oh, I
Mhm.
see. Oh, there's Mary.
I had my
The
volume
name
at
tag was like up in the air.
10%, and that was still like.
It's still really loud. Yeah. It is very shockingly loud.
Oh, yeah.
So now we've moved into an abstract painting, or not abstract, but an oil painting, kind of not photorealistic,
Stylized oil paint,
stylized. Yeah.
you could say.
What does it feel like to be here? We've gone from a ballroom to quite literally touching grass.
The grass feels violent.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna
It
get
definitely.
stabbed by it.
I've watched very few people pause here for as long as we have paused. They try to get out of here really fast. I've run through this with quite a few people.
I think if I'm gonna turn down the music. I feel like without the music, I'd feel much. Oh. Yeah, I'd feel calmer.
Do you?
Everything else about it, yeah, I like instantly. I think the ballroom is very like harsh and a lot of bright lights and everything. But being transported here felt like a nice reset for me.
Okay. And now we're going to take a picture of an unknown something. We don't know what we're focusing on.
Me.
I'm gonna take a picture of Mary.
Take a picture of Mary. See where it takes you.
Jeez.
Oh, look at this photo.
Did it work?
Well, I'll click on it when a photo appears here.
Oh, yeah. Come take a picture, Mary. Come take a picture of me. Hello.
I took one already. Oh, it does work again.
So here we've got a picture lined up, totally not what we just saw, but let's go see what it is.
I have to scrunch down this video. Yeah, click on it.
That's interesting. It's not based on world volume, whatever that sound is.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, got world volume
Yeah, that click was pretty
be
loud, but I have
UI
my
sound.
master volume low. Maybe.
So what's it feel like to land here?
Oh, I don't like the water.
I think it's a little calming, but for me, there's a sense of scale that feels a little off. Like, I get what they're going for, but the fidelity isn't quite reaching what would make me feel in awe or calm. It's neat, but like there's this wall here I can't even get close to.
Yeah.
Which goes on endlessly. You can't really walk down it very far. Actually, can you? I see a thing over there.
I think I've seen people get, just down to that cube. And then it's over. I think it restarts the world.
Yeah, restarts. This is the last section.
So it's a world that was not completely finished.
Oh, they're mirrors.
But it's called Forget to Remember. And that's a recipe for confusion.
Yes. I could,
remember.
This world.
You pointing that out, it made me kind of think like this journey of the worlds we've transitioned to could be like a representation of like dementia or Alzheimer's, where you're just like, where am I? Where am I? What's going on? And then the next thing happens, and suddenly you're, why am I on a bridge? Well, It's
familiar, but it's also confusing. Yeah, exactly. We're in a liminal space. Okay, my dears, we're gonna go.
There should be a story to it.
Yeah. Well, and specifically the sequence, as far as symbolism goes, is really, really interesting to me. I feel like psychology could learn a lot from user-generated worlds. They're still stuck on the inkblot tests, and these worlds say so much more than splattered ink. All right, let's go here, and we're gonna do our checkout here.
Oh, yes.
Leaky and Fro just appeared in the same portal. That's interesting.
Did did they
Found a
I know.
box.
I assume you two didn't appear on top of each other, but like one of you was beside the
No,
portal.
I was next to Leaky. I wasn't inside his avatar. Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, here we are, back in a different kind of liminal space. What does your bodies tell you arriving here? What does this world feel like?
Softer.
Yeah, very freeing. Like an open,
Green.
yeah, like open
Breeze.
pasture type. Yeah.
Yeah.
Need to turn world
I
volume
look
up.
at. Yeah, exactly. I know. When I came into this world, I was like, I need the air sounds. What I like about this space is that it makes me breathe deeper. And adding environmental cues, it feels like a living space. So all the emotions belong here, all the people belong here, everybody belongs here.
All the animals belong here.
All the animals. So this today, I was good, even though we were technically all PCVR, was our Quest World Hop on Confusion. I have some really epic PCVR worlds, but those will be saved for 2 weeks from now. And so, what did we learn today about confusion? And what is one piece that brings us into our heart about each other? Something that touched us.
I think I said it again. My biggest takeaway was how it manifests in the body. For me, confusion tends to really show as just like mentally freezing and physically. And in the past, I realized I've combated that, especially if it's very isolated to an experience with myself. I've combated that even just by going outside for a little walk, or it's like a mental reset in a way.
To realign the body with the mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real.
I had to hold myself.
Since I've been. Go ahead.
Hold myself back from giggling as the cat flings itself off the well.
Yeah, the cat escaped the well. Frofidor wedged it into the well, and while you were talking, the cat was like, "And no."
It just tumbled off.
It's
Yeah.
entertaining. It does what it wants.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Leaky, I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad you're noticing your body better and how much it affects you physically. Yeah. Was there anything about something said here by somebody present that touched you that really like landed it in your heart? What's the closest?
I think just in the world before, you called out narration. I heard you were going to say something, Leaky. I didn't want to take that away.
No, there was a moment. I'm trying to remember specifically what was said. It was when we were in the void. I'm pretty sure it's something that you said. It'll come back to me.
And I just want to acknowledge what you did here, right? You know there was something, you can feel it orbiting, it's not coming immediately to your mind, and you're commanding that knowledge to return to you. And you're reassuring everyone here that you will remember. So that's you moving through confusion and narrating it.
That's a good point.
Well done.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I was realizing a lot today that, I thought, oh, confusion's normal and fine. I can handle confusion. Like I do it all the time. And I realized that maybe I'm more in a constant state of confusion and I'm constantly trying to get out of it, which is sort of like an ongoing constant stressor that I didn't even realize was maybe not entirely normal. It's like I'm realizing like, oh yeah, I've always had this thing orbiting me. It looks like a moon, but as I realized today, maybe it's an optical illusion that's like the size of Jupiter. It's actually really, really actually I don't even know if I'm going to be able to handle resolving or not even resolving, but just like missing it. It's like, let's keep pretending that's a moon. Maybe this is too big for me.
It's less confusing that way.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe that's part of it. I think I'm seeing confusion as a lot of different things like uncertainty or lack of knowledge or just a bunch of other like names for it. Jupiter, what? And I'm recognizing like, oh yeah, confusion's okay, but then as we encompass all of the definitions for it, there's sort of like this much deeper anxiety, almost like a terror of like, well, actually, I've had too many terrible experiences as a kid where being confused was actually very bad. And now I am constantly living in habits where I need to understand the situation around me and I need to teach everyone else what is happening too. I need to make sure no one else is confused because we don't want to cause more trauma here because it doesn't really bring about anything good when I see people coming to conclusions that are going to cause problems down the line for being incorrect or being misinterpreted. And like, like exploring a world, there's a sense of like, what is going on? Oh, there's a book appearing. Oh, it's a portal. Oh, I got teleported to a section. That must be a glitch. It must be unintentional. It must be all these other rational explanations. And, I eventually regrouped with you guys, but that was like, and I met Mary halfway through coming back to you guys. I'm like, okay, Mary, here's the situation. Let's break down the confusion and move forward with a plan so we don't get more confused. And I'm like realizing like I'm doing this all the time and maybe that's something I need to meditate on. So I learned a lot today.
Thank you, Fro. There's something about the nervous system when a parent gets impatient, whether it's an actual physical contact of grabbing our clothes and yanking us somewhere else or slapping something nearby us or whatever, but it's that jump response in our bodies. That sense of, this is bad. This is so bad. And have confusion be met with that energy, it's like an electrocution kind of scar. And every time we learn after that, there's a little bump there, that bracing, that sense of, I'm not going to arrive here on my own unless something electrocutes me and pushes me forward. And
yeah. That relates to one of my takeaways. I remember whenever we were talking about confusion earlier, especially when it came to upbringing and how we're sort of taught about it, that I think kind of shined a light on things that were kind of drilled into me when I was a kid. I felt very like understood there because it's these little like subtle interactions as a kid that really stick with you in terms of how you behave when you get older. And it's like yeah, just like thinking of what I would tell myself when I was younger or how I would handle the situation, I think was very big. So yeah.
Yeah, the word confuse has so many other second parts of the word that can be added, like conform, confound, concern. And so I'm glad that's landing for you. And I also want to invite you to each look at each other and see how you're growing each other as we check out here. Because this is my life path. I bring you a lot of pieces that I've gathered over time, and you have all helped each other here. So acknowledging something that grew you interpersonally, being with each other today can also be a way to kind of land our time. Just sitting with that. How do we look at each other and say, thank you for being here. You grew me.
There's this YouTube channel called What on Earth Is This? And
that sounds fun.
Going back to this thought in concern, where if there's someone picking up the weight of concern, that makes you feel less of it because they're carrying it for you. I think similarly, this channel is carrying the weight of confusion, and so that allows you to move through it with curiosity instead.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting.
So when I feel confused, I used to feel shame. It would take me right to my shame of going, oh no, I must have messed this up because I don't understand it and I should understand it. And there was never a point in my life when it wasn't I should understand it. And so that's a false narrative. Like, period. Unless I'm God, I should not understand it. Like, it's an inserted belief. And so holding confusion for somebody else doesn't mean clarifying it for them. Many times it means getting confused and seeing if my confusion can outweigh your confusion, and it pushes you. Often, if we're really unconscious, it'll push you into concern. But it also might push you into liminal, right? You're kind of like, yeah, I don't know either. What do we do now? Yeah. So something that touched my heart about somebody here. When I came in, I think I was on time. I was a little early, and then I took my headset off and got my liquids and whatever. But Mary, you were sitting on the ground when I came in, and that touched me. That you knew to wait, and you were okay. And then when I came in, then you stood back up. So thank you for holding space with me. Yeah. What touched your heart?
I want to appreciate, I feel like Leaky has expressed a lot of vulnerability today. Really deepened into aspects that he's confused about and sat with it. And, yeah. As I said earlier, you're winning today.
You won confusion. You get the confusion award.
Thank you.
I think your gray screen, your pixelated screen said it from the beginning. You came prepared, homework in hand.
He's all static.
Yeah. Yeah, and Leaky, I said earlier to you that I would go to the store with you, and I meant that from my inner kid. The vibe that you bring, I would feel safe going to a store with you.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. That's really nice to hear.
Mm. Just know that whatever that wound cycle is, you became your own antidote to it.
Yeah, I'm pretty awesome.
Way to lean into it.
Thank you, though. Seriously.
Yeah. So other heart moments that people brought here that keep us from being hey you teaching and make us a circle. Yeah, that touched our heart.
It was pretty fun you leaning into being the magic 8-ball for a while.
I had a lot of inappropriate answers that I did not select according to your questions at a different time.
Oh, could you pick the answer, or was
I
it
was
really
picking
random?
my answers.
Oh.
Yeah. There's also a randomizer too that
Okay.
I could have done. But there's a lot of uncomfortable answers there that are more Gen Alpha, not safe for work.
Of course, yeah.
Is there any other observations to close our circle so we all feel seen, recognized, honored? What does our hearts tell us?
I'm trying to think of why, for some reason, that void felt so comfortable to me. It was very different because I've been to VR chat worlds that have almost nothing, but there was still something I could perceive in terms of a floor and a wall and everything. But yeah, I think just having everybody's models there, it was almost like it wasn't that, but it's like this could be somebody being alone with their own thoughts or something. It's just like in their own head or whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I think it just really let me focus on the conversation in a different way. It's still possible in other worlds, of course, but yeah.
It's like I feel, for me, like it's removing all the obligations. Like something about a busy environment makes us feel obliged to look. And adds complexity. Like if someone else is looking at something, you feel like, should I be looking where they're looking or looking at them, or it takes away all of that.
Bro, your how you keep accepting feedback and dropping into it and noticing almost with the same joy as noticing features in a world, you notice things about yourself. And so what that allows me to do is trust you to take that feedback and grow more present, basically.
I love getting feedback.
Yeah. And for a lot of people, sometimes observations like I'm offering can sting at times. It can feel bracing instead of embracing. And so thank you for your grace in hearing it. And I know there is something you are transitioning into with your gray ball that was a moon, but now looks much bigger. I look forward to the day when that entire orb fully overtakes you and you're just in it. Storm of whatever that is. I believe you're building the muscles to travel into that and survive it. and it might be at the end of your life, and it might be most adults will be fully disabled at least one time in their life temporarily. And so whenever it comes, I just will keep looking at these moments as you lean into what's uncomfortable and see you building muscles for that time. It's almost like the shape of your avatar is what happened after you survived going into that. This is what
a few black holes.
Getting eaten by a few black holes looks like. You still came out with all the puzzle pieces together, even a tail and toe. Not all the fingers, but enough to make it work. Yeah.
I could only fit 3 on to make the excellent quest limitations.
Oh, that's interesting.
I would have put more, absolutely.
Quest. Well, I think this is it for confusion, and I said I think at the end here, and we're technically a little over time. Next week we have, is it video hop or music?
Music hop first. I'm gonna do video hop the Wednesday after, I think, something like that.
Oh, we got music hop next week. So be looking for your confusing music. If you did have a world you planned to share today and we didn't get to it because we only went to the worlds I picked, please put it in the confusion chat. I would like us to build a library of worlds that bring confusion, and so for all the emotions. So we could technically put all of the VRChat worlds in that chat because they're going to be confusing to somebody. But if you notice the worlds I picked today, they do provoke an emotional response at a different level. So if you can find worlds that you know would become kind of like a soul worm of sorts or a mind worm, that sense of like people would go there and say, how does this embody confusion? And now they're going to be thinking about it for another week or two. They're medicinal level worlds. If you find those and you can describe some questions you want people to ask themselves when they go to that world, that would be a way to post it so that it hopefully gets some people talking about it.
I feel like there's a whole brand of confusing worlds that are worlds where things aren't synced, so your experience differs from everyone else's.
Yeah, that's like most. Yeah, that's very confusing. Absolutely.
Yeah, and these are the hidden confusions that you don't even know are happening. I mean, technically, most worlds in here, even if they're quest-friendly, don't have the fidelity that this one does to having congruence. If you're on PCVR and Quest, you're experiencing the same space. So that's every world we go to, I have to assume that not everybody is having the same experience, and that it puts a lot of stress as a facilitator and as a docent of spaces of how to track for that. So, yeah. Well, thank you. We should get a